Hello everyone, here we go. We have Technique Tuesday for you. Today is Tuesday the 11th of June and it is 2 p.m. Sydney time, and that means time to learn a new technique. And this technique today probably won't be new to everyone. It's an older technique. Of course, everything old is new again when we use new products and new things, right? So it doesn't hurt to revisit really old techniques, I don't think. Because sometimes you might learn something about them you didn't think of before, or maybe it just reminds you to do an old technique that you'd forgotten all about. So that's what we're going to do. It's sunny in WA. It's actually overcast here, and it's not particularly warm either, but I have plans when I'm finished this video. I need to go to the post office, but I also need to go for a walk. I didn't get out walking last week, and normally up until I went away back in April, I was walking every single day, and so yeah, I'm feeling a little bit. And with all the extra birthday eating that I did last week, it's very, very bad when you step on the scales and go, "Oops, I think I maybe just put on 3 kilos." In like the space of a week, but hopefully it'll come off again, right? That's what birthdays are for, yes? How are you, Maria? You've been to the physio. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, that's no good. Have you taken some painkillers? Are you looking? Are you making sure you look after yourself? Hello, Renee. Hi, nice to have you with us. Hello, Tanya in WA. Yes, I saw your beautiful photos from Terrigal this morning, Denise. That looked like such a nice walk. We should do that together sometime. That would be nice. Marilyn, how are you? And Suzanne and Katrina. We have some regulars and then we have a couple of new names. So welcome, whether you're new, whether you're old, welcome today. And I'm going to switch over to the desk and we're going to talk all things crafty, right? All right, so here's our current catalogue. This is the catalogue I'm working from at the moment. Next month in July, we do have some new products coming out for customers, our online exclusives, but we don't have an actual physical publication coming out now until September. So that's for customers. Demonstrators will be able to get it in August, but customers will be able to get them in September. So let me just make sure I can see everyone's comments. Hello, Holly. Nice to have you with us. You do keep meeting like that. How are you, Margaret Gordon? How are you feeling today? Are you feeling better? I hope so. Painkillers are on board. Good to hear. It does sound nice. And I think maybe a hot chocolate or a coffee or something at the end of the walk would be really good. That's my idea of a winter walk. All right. So I think most people probably have heard by now, but I'm going to tell you again. Right now, this month, they have a really great promotion on. We have 2 things that are marked down on sale. That is all of our die bundles, the die bundles that you'll find in this catalogue, and also the die bundles you find online. But customer bundles are available this month at a further 10% off. So bundles are always marked down at 10% off, but right now they're an extra 10%. So effectively 20% off. If you're a demonstrator, you're going to really maximize your value because you're going to get your demonstrator discount off on top of that, right? So that's what we call a good deal. We love that. All right. So when you're looking, if you're thinking, well, how do I know what's on sale? If you turn to, I think it's page 57, where it starts talking about all the bundles, where it says the word, anytime you see the word bundle, like dies and stamps, that's going to be on sale right now. Oh, good to hear. Sounds like you're doing all the things to get better, Margaret. That's great. Really good to hear. All right, so anytime you see the word bundle, that's going to tell you that item is currently on sale, which is great. I'm going to use a couple of bundles today. Also in the sweets, okay, the area where it has the sweet collection, right now, the bundle in the sweet collection, you can see it says down here, for example, this one, Charming Duck Pond Bundle, down the bottom here, that is already also marked down 10%. So instead of $81.75, it's going to be a further $8.17 off that. Okay, so you can kind of look, and if you're going online to shop, all of the bundles are marked down with a special red. There's a little like red writing to indicate that it's on sale, and it's got its own section. You can go into the bundled savings section. Okay, so you put your order in this morning, Suzanne. Good on you. That's awesome. All right, so I'm going to show you a couple of my favorite bundles. And we're going to use today, we're going to do the reverse masking technique. Some of you probably know this one quite well. It's been around forever, and there are several different versions of it, but I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to get a really great result with reverse masking today. Okay, so I wanted to use the Layers of Beauty bundle, which is this one here. Now this one, there are various ways of masking, okay, and so it does get a little bit confusing. When people say I'm going to use the masking technique, there are several different versions of that. So like these in this bundle, and actually this is a really good bundle to talk about because this particular bundle has stamps, dies, and masks included in the bundle. Okay, so these masks actually will color your stamped image, okay, and they're fantastic. I'm actually not using these masks really very much today. I mean, I'll show you how they work, but I'm actually going to do the reverse masking, but with the dies using as reverse masking tools. Okay, so let's get rid of this. Oh, and if you're wondering how much this is, normally this bundle is $99.75, and I had a little look just before I came along here, and let me just see if I can find it again because I want to make sure that I'm giving you the right information. So this bundle is actually worth $111, and it's marked down to $99.75. That's the normal price because it's a bundle, but right now in June you can get it for $88.75. So it's going to be another $9.97, almost another $10 off on top of this price. So right now, $88.75 would get you the stamps, the dies, and the masks. It's a really good deal. You can buy the masks by themselves. I think the masks by themselves are $23. But why would you do that? You can create nice things with them just by themselves, but it looks fantastic when used with the stamps. So they're a really good set to get. So I've actually done a little bit of pre-work. I've actually got a half a sheet of A4 cardstock. Doesn't matter what size your cardstock is, you just want it to be bigger. And I've actually cut this piece out of here. Okay, you can see where it came out. I used my die cutting machine for that. And let me quickly show them to you. So these are the Layers of Beauty masks. Sorry, dies. What am I saying? Oh my gosh, I'm so confused sometimes. I'm sure I must confuse you. I confuse myself. So this is the big one here that I use to cut this shape. All right, can you see that? And I ran it through my cut and emboss machine. Also, cut and emboss machines are on sale too. They're 10% off as well. So really good time to be getting a few things at the moment. All right, so this piece slots back in here, and you can see there's some different there's some leaves and some flower bits, and there's a little banner here. I mean, it's a really nice set. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've already cut this out in the interests of time. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to come up with a little creation today. I've already put the stamp onto a block. I'm using block F because it's our biggest block, and you do need a big block. It won't fit on block E. You do need our biggest block. If you happen to have a Stamparatus or a stamp positioning platform, we don't sell the Stamparatus anymore, which is such a sad thing. I'm so sad. But if you still have one, and I think most people who've got one have hung on to it, right? If you still got one, you could put it on your Stamparatus platform or your stamp positioning platform if you have one of those, okay? But I'm using block F, which is our big block, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp. I've just got a piece of basic white card here. I'm going to use a mat underneath because this is a photopolymer set, so there's no cushioning in this set. And I'm just going to, excuse me, excuse me. I should have didn't bring my water bottle in with me, but that's okay. I think I'm all right. Excuse me. All right, so I'm going to use navy. You could use whatever color you like for this, but I am using navy cardstock. Sorry, navy ink. I really am saying all the wrong things today, so you might have to give me a little bit of grace. Oh my goodness. All right, so I'm just going to ink this up. Now, when I'm inking up a really big stamp, here's a tip for you. I find it easier to lay the stamp down so it's sitting face up and ink it up with my ink pad by moving my ink pad around rather than trying to put my ink pad down and get the stamp onto the pad. That's harder. it's much easier to tap your ink gently onto the top of your stamp. All right, so just when you're working with a really big stamp, that's usually a great way to go. Now, you don't actually have to stamp this image for this technique to work, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm just going to pop it right here on my basic white card front piece. You could use other colors, but I'm using white. I like it on white. All right, and it does make a really beautiful image. All right, now if we have the masks, and I'll show them to you, they are numbered and we would use them in order. So the very first one has a number 1. I don't know if you can see it. It's a bit hard to see unless you, there it is. Can you see it when I get it in the light? There's number 1 right there. And then this, okay, would actually sit over here. Does it go that way? Yes, it does. And I would line it up with my flowers, and then I can use my mask to actually color my flowers in. Okay, so that's one masking technique. All right, but what we're doing today is we are reverse masking. Does everyone know what I'm talking about when I say, oh, good morning. Hello, Judy. Nice to see you there. And you, honey, and you. Susan, nice to have you here too. And you caught me live today. Yay. All right, so with the piece that I have already cut out, all right, now if I wanted to color the whole thing just in one color, which I don't, but if I did, I could use this, mask off the rest, put this down around my, let me find it, around my image. Here it is there. And I could actually color the whole image in one color. I could do that if I wanted to. I don't want to do that. I think the masks do the plastic masks that I just show you do a much better job of that than what you would do by using your own mask. Now, I have just cut this from basic white cardstock, all right, and I'm actually going to be positioning this over the top of my image, all right. If you have masking paper, this is even better. Now, this will do the job, but if you have masking paper, you can see that this is the masking paper, and you can see it easily fits on a piece of masking paper. There are 12 sheets of masking paper in a pack. This, if anyone's looking for these, you can either search the word masking in the online store, or you can use code number 155480. And I think from memory in Australia, I believe this is $12.25. I hope that's the right price I've just given you, but I think that's correct. So you grab a piece, and on the back, all right, you know which is the front and which is the back, because on one side, can you see here, there is like a split in the back of it, all right? And see how that just peels off? All right, so this, what you peel off isn't sticky, but what is left behind is, okay? So I could also run this through, and then when I'm ready to stick it on, stick it down, all right? The only problem sometimes, if you press too hard when you're sticking this down, you can make it that when you try and take it off, if you're not careful, you can actually rip the surface of the cardstock. So be very, very careful. Don't push it down too hard. You know, you don't need to make it adhere. You just want to have it hold in place. It is that price. You just added it. Awesome, Tanya. That's great. All right. Late definitely is my middle name, Marty. So, you know, I've always thought having a name that starts with L, you know, last minute Linda is what I call myself, because I've always seemed to be running. All right. So we could do this with the masking paper, and you know which is the back. So you would do it from this side, and the back is where the split is, and then that makes it easy to peel that off. All right, that's all that split is for. But you know, also it does two things. It helps you easily peel the back off, and it lets you know which is the front and which is the back, right? All right, so I'm just going to use this one, and I'm going to hold it in place. But like I said, if you don't want to have to hold it in place, you could use your masking tape and stick it down. All right, so I'm going to take this off and put it on my glass mat. By the way, if you're a demonstrator, the glass mat is now available to demonstrators. This was a stamp celebration item that was a joining special some months ago, January, February this year, and the leftovers have now been released to demonstrators. If those are not all sold by the end of the month, next month they'll become available to customers. Okay, so I don't want everyone to get too excited in case they sell out, but there's a good chance that they will go live to customers come July. So that's a bit exciting. Hello, Deb. Nice to see you there. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this in place. I wouldn't need to hold it in place if I'm using the mask. if I'm using masking paper. And I'm actually going to go around this with Lemon Lolly. I just want a light yellow because I like navy and yellow, or navy and orange together, which is probably why I like the Mediterranean Bloom Sweets so much. I'm going to hold this in place, and I'm going to start using my little blending brush here to go all the way around. So basically what I'm doing is I'm adding color around my stamped image, and it's going to take the shape, of course. When I pull this back, you can see it perfectly goes around without me having to, you know, try and be careful, because I'm using the mask to mask off anything where I don't want the color to be. So it's a really great way of getting a really great effect, and I think you're really going to like the end result. So I'm just going to come in here. I'm using a small blending brush, but you could use a big one or a small one. It really doesn't make a lot of difference. I just happened, the yellow that I wanted to use happened to be on my small blending brush, and that's why I'm using it. But there's no reason why you can't use a big one. Thank you for saying that, Judy, and I agree with you. I hope that Margaret's appointment on Thursday will help her and give her some relief, because it's not nice. All right, so I'm just coming in here, and you can see I've just got one hand. It holds pretty well, even though I'm, you know, going swirling round and round and round. The piece holds really well, and it's not difficult. You really only need to put, you know, one finger on it or a couple of fingers on it, and it will hold quite nicely. All right, I'm going to actually go a little wider, because, and you'll see why in a moment. I want this color to go a little bit further out. So Lemon Lolly is a really nice yellow. It's if it does move, it's easy to put it straight back to where it was. You can see if you've moved it, because you'll see like a little bit of white all the way around. Oop, that one just came up, but that's okay. Hello, Nicole. How are you? We're reverse masking today, Nicole. That's what we're doing. All right, so hopefully you can see I'm sort of starting to spread that yellow a little bit wider. And we don't care about it going on to this top piece, because we're not going to have this top piece used in the end anyway. But all we care about is the result underneath on the base, on the card base, or the card front, I should say. All right, let's... I haven't seen Leslie here today, or did I miss her comments? I know we don't normally see Cherie here during the day, because she's working, and a lot of you working girls have to watch the replay at nighttime. I know this is true. All right, I'm going to take this off, and hopefully you'll see it's looking really nice. And because this is slightly bigger than the image, you get like a little bit of a white halo around the image, which I actually think adds to this. I think it looks really, really nice. Now, I could, if I wanted to, if I didn't want that little halo, then I could actually have stamped my image and cut it out by hand and cut it right on the line. That way I wouldn't get that little halo. But because this is slightly bigger than the image, that's what creates the halo. But I actually like that. I think it looks really nice. All right. So I'm going to put this back on, because I want to add a second color. And I'm going to do it in Calypso Coral. You could use any color that would you know, work in with this, but I happen to be a big fan of Calypso Coral and yellow together. So you can see my Calypso brush is a bigger one. It does not matter. All right, so I'm not going to add as much this time. I'm going to stick closer to the edges of the mask, and I don't want it to go out as far as that yellow did. And so hopefully you can see when we lift this up, now we have the yellow and the orange together. Okay, they look really nice together. Hello, Janine. Nice to have you with us, even if it is just for a little while. Yeah, reverse masking is fun. I know it is. And it really gives you can do a lot of different things with it, and really play around. So it's a good fun technique. Speaking of fun, last night, because, you know, it's winter and we find we watch probably a bit more TV come winter, you know, because it's nice and warm out in that lounge room where the reverse air conditioning is, and, you know, sit on the lounge with a book sometimes, or in front of the TV, and we've been watching a bit more telly. And if anyone has any good suggestions for shows that I should watch or shows that I shouldn't, feel free to share. Last night, I watched an old favorite, but my husband had never seen it, and that was Crazy Rich Asians. If you haven't seen Crazy Rich Asians, it's a really fun show. It's certainly does give you an insight into how some people live their lives, that's for sure. Does it make me want to live like that? No, not really. but it's fun. I really enjoyed the show, and I think Paul enjoyed it too. It's got, is it Henry Golding in it? And also, here we go. Now we've got our color coming through. Now I did get a bit of smushing here, the shape of the brush a little bit. So to get rid of that, I'm actually going to put this back on. Not that it's bad, but I'll bring it up so you can see what I mean. Can you see how I've got a bit of brush marks there, like the circles? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back on, and I'm going to use my lighter color to smush around there again. And what should happen is that should go. So I'm coming back in with the yellow, and I'm just going to go over that bit of Calypso Coral Smush, and it does definitely help to settle it down. All right, that's looking good. Liking it. All right, so you could, if you wanted to, you know, add a sentiment to this and just have a white design against a dark background, and it would look rather good. All right, it's not something that, you know, you can do a number of things. When I was doing this earlier and I was playing around, because I like to, if I'm not 100% sure of what I'm doing, then sometimes I will play and work out a sample beforehand. And I'm just having a look to see if my sample I made earlier is actually still here. Did I leave it here? Because if I did, I will show it to you. Oh, maybe not. So what I did with the earlier one was I just coloured in the leaves. I just coloured in the green leaves. Okay, and that looked really nice. You could use blends for that. Old Olive was the color I chose to use, or you could use the masks. All right, so let's just add a little bit of color. I'm not going to add a lot of color to this. I just think it looks rather nice the way it is. It's a new technique for you, Jen. So normally we would have the color, you know, the masking to, you know, you're actually applying color to the positive image, but this way we're actually applying it, like putting the shape down and then having it around like the negative image. So oh yes, Sweet Tooth, yeah, my husband watched all of that, and I have seen a little bit of it as well. It's not bad. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my masks, and we'll just do a little bit of masking here with this. All right, so I've got number 1 here, and I find it easiest to line up the small flowers. So I've got 1, 2, 3 flowers, and there's those 1, 2, 3 flowers. So let me grab them and make sure I've actually got those lined up. And then the rest of it just kind of falls into place. There we go, like that. All right. So if I decided I wanted, for example, to, what color will we go? I'd like to do a different color. I'm thinking I might do blue flowers. I know that's crazy, blue flowers, blue roses. Why not? I'm going to start the big piece I'm going to do in the light. So I'm going to grab my balmy blue. Whoops, I moved that then. Put it back where it was. It's not hard. Once you've got it lined up, it's actually pretty easy. And I just want to make sure, you have it lined up all the way across. And I do. All right, I'm happy with that. Now, if you're doing this on paper, you can put a little notch here, okay, and line up the notch each time. I'm not even going to worry about that, but I'm just going to give myself some blue flowers. And I'm not going to add a lot of color. I'm going to just do the basics. So these masks come in the bundle, which I think is such a good deal. It's really rather good. All right, so, oh, the sunlight is coming in. I might need to shut the door because all of a sudden it, oh, really? Oh, well, there you go, Marty. There you go. Well, I like using a couple of colors if I can, and I like blue and yellow together. So this is number 2. So we know that it was over this way. Here's those flowers again. So I'm lining those little flowers back up. And that's then going to bring in my big ones. There we go. And I'm going to use a darker, I'm using Misty Moonlight this time. I'm not going to add a lot of colour though, once again. And I just want to add some detail. So I'm really being I'm being pretty sloppy with it, to be honest. All right, but you can start to see how these colors, I'm going to shut the blind because there's too much sun on my desk all of a sudden. It wasn't like that when we started, was it? Let me see. Is that better? Hopefully that makes it easier to see. All right, and then there's a third one that gives us even more detail. So I've used Balmy Blue and Misty Moonlight. The last one here is actually going to be the biggest detail, and we've just got the centers of a couple of these flowers. So I'm just doing the flower centers, all the little flower centers, and the whole thing lines up. So I'm going to use Night of Navy this time, which is one layer darker. You can see it's a lot darker. And once again, just be quick and let it kind of do its own thing. And there we go. That's how our flowers are looking. All right, now if I wanted to leave the rest white, I could do that. I'm actually, will I? Won't I? The other thing I could have done was just do the leaves. That would have been another way of doing it. All right, so this time, now I find the leaves the hardest one to line up, but here we go. I'm nearly there now. Once you work out where they are, they're a lot of fun, these. I need to get a green. And I'm thinking maybe just some old olive to add to this. It's the reverse marking is the bit that the reverse masking is what we did around, but you know, we're doing the whole thing because I can't help myself. And then I'll show you when I do find the other one. I will show you the difference between, you know, fully coloured and partially coloured. I think I'll put them together when I post them online. Okay, and you can see how this is coming now. Can you see that? I'm being quite quick with it, a little bit sloppy, like I said. There we go, like that. If you wanted to add the last one, the last mask, so that was number 4. The last mask is actually number 5, and that one has like more detail if you want to. And I usually only use this one in part. Let me make sure that's lined up. Lining, lining, lining. Who's given these masks a go and who has not? Is there anybody who's used them and gone and loves them? Because I love them. I think they're really stunning. Okay, this time I'm just adding a tiny bit because this is the darkest color. This is the Misty Moonlight. Oh, sorry. What am I saying? Mossy Meadow. Mossy Meadow is this color. There we go. That'll do. Right, and here it is. This is what it looks like now. Now, it would have been beautiful no matter what we did, but having this little bit of reverse masking around the outside to really bring the whole area to life really makes it pop. Okay, they are lots of fun to use, aren't they, Kay? Fantastic. And Suzanne says she loves them. Chris says she loves them. Yep, lots of us love them. Oh, Denise loves them too. Hey, everyone loves them. If you don't have them, you should get yourself some. So the whole bundle right now is on sale. You can get just the masks by themselves, but if you want to be able to colour in the stamped image, like what we just did, then you're going to want to get the whole bundle. And right now it's such a good price because it includes the masks, the dies, and the stamps. All right, so super nice. And the colours I've used today are the blues. So it's Balmy Blue, Misty Moonlight, and Night of Navy for my roses. And then the leaves are Old Olive and a little bit of Misty No, mossy, what am I saying? Mossy meadow over the top. All right, so that's how that's looking. And I like that it's, because we've done the masking just around, there's white in the middle here. Now, if you wanted to cover that up, you could come and add a tiny bit of yellow in the middle, but I kind of like the white because I think it's making it helps it pop. So the sunflower masks were beautiful as well, Katrina. They were gorgeous. Yes, that is true, Muddy. You want to get them before they go out of stock. I don't know. You only bought the masks, Tanya. Oh, whoops. I know. They do look really good together. It's definitely, the masks look beautiful by themselves. I have used them by themselves and they are lovely. So don't worry too much. But if you particularly love the stamps and dies, you can buy the bundle, but it does come with the masks. So I don't know. Maybe have you got someone you can give the masks to? Maybe. How would you color the white areas? To be honest, I would probably come in here and add a tiny little bit of, this is where the small one would be helpful, and just add a tiny little bit of yellow in between. All right. So, you can do that. Now I started, I'm going to just finish off, and I'm only doing it a tiny bit. I'm not doing it very much, but it just has gotten rid of the white being quite so stark. So if you didn't want the white, you could come in and use just the edge of your small blending brush to actually get that. Does that answer that question? Oh, you think you're getting them, Lynn? That's awesome. Yeah, no worries, Marty. That's completely fine. Now, if we want to put this card together, and I think we should, let me see. I've got a couple of banners that I have here from previous. And in this same stamp set, we have got a couple of stamps. We've got a happy anniversary. I tell you what, it's really hard to find happy anniversary stamps. Has anyone else noticed that? So if you think you might need a happy anniversary stamp, this is a really good set for that. I also like this grateful for you one. I have used this one quite a bit. So the happy anniversary would fit quite nicely on this larger banner. This is the larger banner from the Stylish Shapes dies. And I believe that would, which one will we use today? Will we use happy anniversary or will we use grateful for you? First person to answer is the one I'm going to use. And I'm going to use my block here. I'm not going to get it out until, and I'm thinking maybe, because I'm wondering what color card base to use. Shall I use Lemon Lolly or shall I use Balmy Blue? We can use Balmy Blue and have it on a Balmy Blue base. That would look quite nice. Or we can use Lemon Lolly and have it on a Lemon Lolly base. That is a lot of yellow though. It feels like a lot of yellow. I think I'm leaning towards the Balmy Blue. What do you guys think? Let me see, what are people saying? It was your anniversary yesterday. Well, happy anniversary. So that's the one we're using, and Marty said the same. So thank you. Oh, Suzanne said grateful. Sorry, Suzanne, I'm going to go with the anniversary today. So anniversaries are just one of those greetings that we never seem to have a lot of. So let me cut this. Halfway on A4 cardstock is 14.8 centimeters along, although to be honest it's actually 14.85, so it's slightly more than 14.8. I'm going to put this here and let's make this into a really nice card, and this is going to go on here like so. I think it does look nice, the blue. Do you think so? Oh, navy base. That would be nice too, wouldn't it? And we could do a navy base. Although now I've got the Balmy Blue cut, I'm just going to stick with that. But yeah, navy blue would have been nice as well. You think the yellow pops? Oh, maybe I should have used it. Oh, well. I think the answer is all of them. All of the above look good. And it's sometimes it's hard to make up our minds, isn't it? All right, let's pop this. This is a landscape card. So I'm going to go like so. Color looks good, doesn't it? Don't you think that color looks lovely? All right, so happy anniversary should fit nicely on here. Let me see. I guess if the happy anniversary doesn't fit as well as I'm hoping, that we'll be switching to grateful. All right, so this is the happy anniversary. Let's make sure it's going to fit okay on here. It will fit okay. Doesn't fit on the smaller one, does it? No, it doesn't. It's just a little bit too squeezy on that one. So I'm going to go with I'm sure that's okay. I'm sure that's okay, Jody. All right, so I'm going to get above this. And it only just fits. It's actually a tiny bit off at the top and a tiny bit off at the bottom. But let's see how it looks. And if we don't like it, then I'll switch to the other one. I think it's okay. What do you think? Do you think it's okay, or do you think we would be better? Let's do the Grateful one on a different block and see which one looks better. Because I'm not convinced that that's fine running off the edges like that. See, this one definitely fits. That one's safer. Grateful for you or happy anniversary? What do we think? Now, I have got, while we're deciding that, I have got a couple of options. We've got some very nice bling here. These are the new metallic dots. But I was actually thinking what would be nice would be probably these ones, because these have got the blue, the gold, and the white, and I think those might be really nice. These are from the citrus, the Mediterranean blooms, the citrus blooms bundle. Okay, so the Mediterranean blooms sweet is what I'm saying. I know, right? It does. We still think happy anniversary? All right. Okay, so the only thing is I've just realized that that's going to cover up quite a bit of this, isn't it? I don't think I was quite prepared for that. I could cut this off. Grateful isn't going to cover as much. So that's probably better in terms of size. I could put that on a couple of dimensionals and that's not going to cover as much up. Blue bling, says Suzanne. Blue bling, says Jody. Okay, blue it is, girls. I'm going to go with grateful. I'm so sorry for those of you who wanted happy anniversary, but I'm feeling like this, I should have maybe moved it to one side and then cut off the other side, because that's going to cover a lot. I could put happy anniversary inside the card. That would be at the bottom, do you think? We think that. Is that what we think? Is that better? I don't know, guys. There's too many. Go grateful. That's what I'm thinking. I don't want to cover up, because I really love the image and I just don't want to cover up very much of it. All right. We could do happy anniversary inside, but I'm thinking that in this case, the grateful for you looks better on the card, even though I really did want to use the happy anniversary. I'll just have to make another card and make it an anniversary card. All right. Let's pop this. Now, bottom or top? Maybe I will go bottom. It doesn't cover up as much. All right, how about that? I think it's nice. Isn't that lovely? And it was suggested that we go with the blue bling. So I'm thinking maybe the blue over this side. Aren't these pretty? These are really nice. I love them. And then I'm going to have one here and another one a little bit further up. All right, and I'm going to call that a finished card. What do you think? Do we like it? It turned out really nice, and for minimal effort, right? Totally minimal effort. Definitely not too much energy goes into making these cards with the masks. All right, that's one possibility of reverse masking, using the full shape over the top to get your colors all the way around. And if you want to use more than one color, start with your lighter color, move it out further, and then just do your darker color closer to the edge, like I did with the Calypso Coral here. And the Calypso Coral, I think, really looks great with the blues. Okay, that's one card for you. Let's do another reverse masking technique. This time I'm going to show you a different set. And the one I'm looking at is the Wildflower Designs. Okay, now this is part of a suite, but it is still a bundle. It's on page 41. It's called Wildly Flowering Sweet Collection. And the sweet collection gets its name from the paper. The paper is called Wildly Flowering. absolutely beautiful. Some of you may have seen the scrapbook page I made with this at the beginning of this month. Super beautiful paper. Love it. It's also got this great stamp set and these dies. All right, so the stamp set is this, Wildly Flowering. And let me grab the dies. The dies are gorgeous as well. So this is something that I've been playing around with quite a bit, this stamp set. And I used it, like I said, on a scrapbook page. All right, so these ones here and that one cut out some of the images in the stamp set, these images. Then you've got these hexagons. Okay, now one has got like a scallopy hexagon. There's a hexagon by itself, and then there's two frames. All right, so there's this frame, which when you cut it out, just cuts out the frame. But of course, that means that you also get the middle piece because that falls out when you cut the frame. So that's like giving you two shapes in one. Same with this one. You cut out this frame, but then you end up with the middle piece. And I want to use that middle piece. Okay, so once again, this is a very similar idea to what we did with the last one. Super nice. Does anyone have this one? Because this is not one I looked at when the catalog came out. I kind of missed this. I turned over it and kept turning and didn't pay it any attention, but I think it's gorgeous. All right, so this is one I've now decided I needed to have and grabbed it. And I'm so glad I did because I've done a bunch of different things with it. Now, I've got a basic white. I don't even know how this card is going to end up yet. I may end up with a different color, but this is a piece of basic white card. It is 10 centimeters wide by 14.3, which is my card front size. And I'm going to be using this piece in the same way that we did before. And once again, I could use the masking paper. I probably should have, in hindsight, I probably should have used the masking paper. All right, so let me think. I'm deciding. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll do that. But I want to create like a focal point on my card front here, and I think it'll be really nice. It's just such a lovely thing to work with. Anyway, I'm going to pop this down. I'm just going to go with it because I've already got this cut out, so we'll just use it like that. All right, I'm going to hold it in place, and then we're going to I'll go over this and then create like an image. So we end up with a white hexagon that we can then stamp on or do whatever we like with, but we are going to start with it here. Now you can use any shape. This is good with circles. It's good with any basic shape. All right, so I find if you're using a basic shape, like, you know, a geometric shape, a square, a hexagon, a circle, it's probably easier. There's more uses for that than maybe more intricate shapes. But I feel that this is a really great way to go. Just having a look. Yes, that is true, Judy. I know. And Judy said Stampin' Up is working hard to put frames and sentiment dies in bundles to reel us in. It's hard not to get good frames and sentiment dies. I know. But isn't that better than a whole bunch of shapes that we're not going to get a lot of use out of? I think having these kind of shapes is such a good idea. So the question is, what would you like? What colors shall we work with? Let's pick something really different this time. I'm thinking maybe purples. I'd like to use a couple of colors. Maybe let's pull out some of the new colors. How about that? Maybe let's start with these ones because these are brand new colors to us. We've got Peach Pie, we've got Pretty in Pink, and then we've got our purpley Petunia Pop. What do you think? Would those be good? All right, so I'm going to grab myself a couple of blending brushes in the right colors. So I've got here you go. I've got a purpley one here to be good for the Petunia Pop. I've got this one will be good for my Peach Pie. The other color I could have added in here would be Summer Splash. I don't know. But I feel like these colors to me kind of say these are kind of sunsetty colors. Would you agree? And then if you want to add something like this in, well, then it takes on a different, I don't know, just makes it different. All right, so I've got, let me see, I've got some pink. And I might go with Pretty in Pink here. Now, it doesn't really matter the order of our colors. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to have a play around. I might start with my lightest, just because then I think it's easier to add more color over the top if you want to. And I'm going to start by picking up plenty of ink. Here, I'm going to hold this in one place, and I'm going to start on the shape, all right? You don't start where you want the color to end up, because when you first start, you can end up with a blobby, like a bit of, I don't know, blobby blending, I guess you'd call it. And if I start on the thing and then work my way out, I've already gotten rid of the darkest part of the ink, the blobbiness of it. And so you get a better blend. Okay, you don't want to start actually out on the place that the blend, let me move this so you can see it. Okay, straight away we've got a nice shape there, but I don't want to end up, let's put it back where it was. That's really easy to do. I don't want to start on this piece out here. I want to start on here because we'll be discarding this. So start once again. Each time you do it, you want to start right on the mask itself. This is what we call a mask. And I'm thinking I'm going to go all the way around. I hadn't decided that until right now, but I'm just going to, and I'm going round and round in circles. And I'm going to turn it. I'm going to add some more ink. Once again, I'm going to start on the mask itself. We're going to start here and then work our way out. Now, this was actually the same when I was doing the flowers, the last one we did, but I don't think I talked about it as much, that it's really important to start on the mask. So see how we get blobby bits here, but underneath it looks really nice underneath. All right, pop that back. Now that I've got this color down, I don't know whether I do want to add all three colors. I might only just do two, but we'll see. And if it moves, it's really easy to put it into place. You put it just where you cannot see any of the white at all. All right, kind of happy with that. That's looking really good, looking nice. And it creates this like focal point. It almost looks, as we start to get more, if we get more dark around the edges, it's going to almost look 3D. Okay, so I'm going to take that one, put the lid back on that, and I'm going to work with my Petunia Pop. And I may just decide to do these two. I haven't decided for sure to add any other colors at this point. My Petunia Pop really needs to be massaged in. Some of you have seen me do this before. Massage the ink in with a spoon. It needs that again because there's too much ink sitting on top. So I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to start here and I'm just going to go over the edges, but I'm not going to go as far out this time. I just want to go kind of over that line so that this time we start to get some nice shadowing in around close to where the mask is. It makes me go quiet. That's probably a good thing. You're so mad. You meant to get this bundle. Oh, no. Oh, no. Hopefully they'll come in soon, Marty. I hope that they come back in for you because they are, I can thoroughly recommend them. I've been so happy with this particular bundle. I just think it's a really good one. It's nice looking to see what different techniques we can do with some of the bundles that we have. You know, because they're not limited to just stamping or just die cutting. You've got all these other techniques that you can throw in, which I think is fantastic. Right, you see I've gone a little bit over here. It's kind of like a whoops moment, but I'm not too worried. We might even make it a feature. We can if we want to. So I'm going to keep working at it, and it'll start to kind of blend in with everything else. All right, so you can see I've got those couple of little blobs there. I don't mind them. They're not terrible, But I think there's two ways to, if you have something like that happen, there's a couple of ways to do it. First of all, you can keep working at it until it starts to blend in. Or if you really liked it, you could make more of these elsewhere and make it look like it's meant to look like that. The secret of making things look like they're meant to look like something is just to add more. So that's sometimes a great way of hiding of what some people might think is a mistake. It's not so much a mistake. We can just work with it and make it part of the result. Make it look like we meant to do it. All right. So I'm getting more of that dark around the edges there. Can you see that? And so on. So we start then we have something we can work with here. Now I'm actually, now that I've got this on here, I am thinking about adding in that other color I said, but instead of starting here and working out, I'm going to start on the outside and work in. And I'm going to have no white in the end of this. So I'm going to go here with my peach pie. I'm going to hold that down. And I'm going to start here. Now, once again, I don't start immediately on. I start off and work my way on. Okay. And this is also something you do if ever you're using a brayer. That's the same technique with that. You start off the paper and work your way onto the paper. And I'm just going to have my peach pie blending into my pinks there. And what should happen is we should end up with a piece that looks like, we've, you know, it's hard to know exactly what has happened. Like, unless you know the technique, it might be hard for someone to tell that this is what we've done. Now, when we've finished all this, we have to decide what we're going to do with that white square. Are we going to stamp in it? Are we going to use it like for a sentiment? Are we going to create a silhouette effect with some black? That would be very effective. That would look nice. And I'm starting down the bottom here and working my way in again. All right. So this is kind of what we've got now. Can you see that? Oh, that's no good, Leslie. I was wondering where you were. I mentioned you earlier. I'm so sorry that you're not feeling well. Yeah, go take some painkillers and have a lie down. And then you can always come back and watch this later. All right. I'm thinking what would look really, really good with this. Okay. I'm doing something completely out of left field. I'm grabbing a stamp set this is called Lovely and Sweet. This was in the last catalogue, but it's still around. So I'm using block E for this. And should I stamp it in black or Gorgeous Grape, which is a dark purple? Because that might look rather good stamped across here. What do you think? Or we could, or I could, like I said, should I do it in black or should I do it in purple? I am deciding. I think they both look nice. This is the dark purple. It's this dark purpley color. Oh, sorry everyone who's not feeling well today. That's no good. Gorgeous Grape. I know what you're trying to say there, Suzanne, even if you didn't spell it quite right. I do that all the time. I get my letters around the Gorgeous Grape was the first response. Sorry, Barbara, you've come in with black, but all right, so I'm going to have this going across here like so. And this is how this is looking. Just totally different, right? It's just a different way of utilizing a shape, and it actually highlights what it is that and I didn't know what I was going to stamp in the middle until I did it. Let me grab, seeing as we have some Pretty in Pink around the outside. I've got some Pretty in Pink blends, and I've also got some Petunia Pop. So I've got these two colours, and let me colour. I'm going to colour these flowers here in the middle. And I'm going to do both. There's no masks for these ones. So I'm colouring with blends. I always do my darker. Everyone's got their own ways of doing it. There is no right or wrong. But when I do blending, I do my dark first and then do my actual blending work with the lighter pen. That's just how I do it. I am going to come back in now though and add some. That's actually a bit. Is that the light one or that? Yeah, that's the lighter one. I'll stick with that. I think. I'm going to add some Petunia Pop, and then if I wanted to blend that a little bit more, I would come back in with my light and go over those edges and blend it out. We'll do a blending technique class. I actually haven't done a Technique Tuesday using blends, so I'm thinking at some point that that's probably a good idea. And I'm going to add a little bit of color to these guys. I don't know if they're meant to be buds, but that's what they look like to me. And I'm thinking I won't do the leaves. I'm just going to leave them as they are. What do you think? Yeah, Cookie did say hello. He's sitting up there in his cage. He's been watching today. Having a little look. Okay. All right. So if I wanted to, I could come in. I could add some, a bit of color behind this if I wanted to. You really could have a bit of fun with it. But I'm thinking let's use. What do we think? Do we think this? I think so. I think I could use Petunia Pop, or I could use Pretty in Pink for my card base. And I haven't decided. I'm going to do both and see which one looks better. And then we're just about done. What do you think, guys? How did we go today? Ooh, leave the leaves? Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, we have some girls not feeling so good today. So Margaret and Leslie and anyone else and Maria. So we've had, a few people today not feeling fabulous. So the question is, do we prefer this on the Petunia, like so, or do we prefer it on the Pretty in Pink, like so? I don't know which one I prefer. But I'll tell you what I am going to do. I am going to grab my Winter Stella and I'm going to glitter these up because I think that'll look nice. I'll tell you what, Winter Stella, if you're looking for it in the catalogue, it's hard to find. It's on page 111 and it's the only mention of it. But gee, it's fun stuff. You can add it to any colour and make everything glittery and beautiful. I don't know if you can see them, if you can see the glitter on it. Maybe, maybe not. Oh, it's hard to see in the camera light. I'm so sorry, but I can see that it's glittery. It's not very glittery, but it is glittery. Right, and I think we need bling on this. So PP is PP Petunia Pop or Pretty in Pink? Because they're both PP. Yeah, I could glitter the leaves. That would look nice as well. So we're saying, I think people, when they say PP, I think they mean Petunia Pop. I think that's what they mean. Yeah, some products are hiding very well on the catalogue. You've almost got to study it, don't you think? I think so. All right, so I think this will need to be cut down a tiny bit because I actually cut it tiny bit big. That's better. Silly me. And I'm going to put my glue on the back here. I'm using Tombow multi-purpose glue for that. I just find it the quickest and easiest for that sort of thing. You can see where the blends are. Blends always go through your paper. don't ever worry about that. It's normal. And then I would add a banner or something like that to this. And we could add if we wanted to. Oh, you know what we could add if we wanted to, which would look rather special. Oh, I know. Let's go back to these again. We could add the white ones for this, which would look really nice, or even the gold, the yellow gold, but I think the white would look really good. I've also got these. These are the flat backed pearls. Those would look quite nice because they've got like an iridescent color that pulls out a purpley pinky color. So those would work. And we could also use these guys. So we've got the copper ones, but I think the silver in this case would look really good. So actually the copper look okay too. The copper are nice. So I don't know. What do you guys think? You forgot it was Tuesday. That's okay. That's completely fine. Don't worry, Anne. So the question is, which one will I go with? Will I go with the white here with a bit of glitter in them? Will I go with the flat back? Actually, I'm wondering about the flat back. These are nice. These are lovely. So let me put, let me put that right there. Actually, no. Oh, that'll do. And then maybe one up here. And maybe another one a little further up. I should be using my take your pick tool for this, but do I remember to do that? No. Right. And then I would need a banner, or I could even stamp straight on if I wanted to, but I think a banner would look better. Not this one, but something smaller, like a little banner would look good. Well, there we go. I'm going to say that's a done card. Iridescent. These are iridescent, so those look really rather nice. I don't know if you can see they're picking up the colors that are actually in it. They're picking up the pinks and the orange, which looks really good. So those look great. So there you go. I hope everyone enjoyed that today. So in finishing, okay, I just wanted to say, pull out your shapes, work out what shapes are going to be great for this reverse masking technique. You can actually highlight something. You can have the color around it so it makes it pop, just like we did with this one. I think it turned out really, really nice. If you have any questions at all about anything you've seen me do today, then reach out. You can either comment in the YouTube comments, or you could send me a message. I will be posting immediately after this video. I will post down in the description below my shop link if you need to go shopping, or if there's anything that you would like. And please don't forget to subscribe. I am now, as of this morning, I was 27 subscribers away from 10,000. So I'm getting really close. So thank you so much if you're watching. And I thank you everyone for their subscriptions and for watching along, because it's an absolute pleasure offering you guys new techniques and lots of value here on this channel. I hope that you all have a fantastic day. I will be back live again on Friday evening. So if there's anything else that you need from me in the meantime, or there's anything you'd particularly like me to show, please reach out and let me know. And I'm very, very happy for the recommendation. All right, you guys, have a fantastic day, and I will see you all really, really soon. Bye-bye.